My name is Maja Hulgren Sakis, the Swedish Work Environment Agency, and I'm responsible for our digital platforms and print channels. I'm going to start now, and I'm going to start this app called Noise, and I'm going to give it to the person in the front row, and you're going to look at it, and you're going to send it back. The app is called Noise Exposure, and also have one app called Light. And here is the reason why you should get, I should tell you, I'm a former journalist, and I like to sell things. So here you are. Now you can download the apps for yourselves and try them out. Of course, you have your QR readers, because we're tech-savvy people in here, aren't we? And if you don't have it, I will show this slide again in the end. And while you're trying to get those, I'm going to just fast tell you that, of course, we are on different platforms. We're also on Facebook, where our customer service answers questions about health and safety. Or set it backwards. And we are also on Twitter, of course, where our general director, he really likes to tweet away. He loves it. We're on Google+, of course. There, we have an account, but we haven't really started. And we're on LinkedIn, and the website is, of course, the hub in our web strategy, where we do interactive tutorials. And we want to do some podcasts. Did you get it? Because I'm moving forward. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this really, really fast. So why should you spend money on this? Well, actually, the government pinpointed communication as one of the most important strategic tools that we do have. In Sweden, we work with 3 legs. We work with regulation, inspection, and communication. And also the government pointed out that they want us to target small and medium companies, but small companies in Sweden are actually micro companies anywhere else, since we're such a small country. We also wanted to target new people, or the population, although our main target is, of course, companies. And young people, the next generation that are not very aware of health and safety issues, are really important. In this work, when we tried to consider why we should do these apps, we wanted to think about all those people that want to follow the legislation but don't know how. We also wanted to raise awareness about how you can work with health and safety and what it actually is all about. So we also decided that modern technology is the way to go to increase this awareness. And I should also tell you that these apps, although they're very accurate, they're not tools for inspectors. We got some slack for that, but frankly, I don't give a damn, because this is just to raise awareness in the major population. Another thing we decided on was that all the apps that we do develop, they should use the phone's features. If you want to send out information in an app, do on a responsive website instead. Use the features of the phone, and it has to be a quick, intuitive, and fast tool if it's going to be used. So how did we do it? Well, as it says, blood, sweat, and tears. Wasn't Churchill said that? Well, I know I have written about 150 to 200 hours. I would say that in real life, the companies probably spent the double amount of time, but this is what they charged us. The cost of it, yeah, it's not cheap. I can tell you that. And I don't know if we have gotten the return on investment here, but I know that we have done more than 100,000 downloads on the Noise Exposure app. And I know that people are talking about it, and I want to measure how much that is worth in money, because I know in that case, I probably have gotten my investment paid off. To the right, you see the icons of the app, so it should be really easy to find. The above one is the one for light measurement, and the below one is the one for noise. And it also features the official sign of the government agency. Some people think it's the king, but it's not. And one way to reach success on the market, it's one major player is actually the expertise that we have in the house. We have one that is Sweden's foremost expert in noise and noise reduction, and other one is an expert in radiation. Not only did they make sure that the apps are accurate, but there are also good marketers internally that we should do more apps, because they thought this was so much fun, and they rarely get to use their expertise in something so concrete and fast as a tool like this. And of course, the third key to success is to be first, be new, and be different. Sorry, wrong way. We didn't spend much money on marketing. We didn't spend much time on marketing either. Our best marketeers are our inspectors. They go out, they show, and they tell. We also have, of course, word of mouth, friends showing friends. And my favorite is when you show it to young people, go to a heavy metal concert and pull up the nose exposure app. And then the people that sell earplugs, they will do really good business. I did this at the Rammstein concert. That's why the picture's up there. Also, you can use the light app. For instance, when you're riding on the metro, you start pulling out on a bright summer day, you pull it out to see the contrast, how big the contrast is, and people get curious and ask you what you're doing. And you can also get school classes to work. They go outside and they measure the traffic noise, for instance, and they can use the app. We have done a small Facebook campaign. It didn't cost us much money at all. And of course, we tweeted and tweeted again to remind people about the apps. And I should tell you something else, that if you're an agency, you can also ask us to get this app and translate it to your country, because I don't think we should do the work twice. So if you want to do a local variation, feel free. I'm going to show you just a really fast thing about this light app. This has been a challenge. We can't do it on Android because the developers, they have their own platforms. And it was really, really hard to make it understandable and intuitive. One of the reasons is that people have to choose a setting of light. And how do you explain what's the difference between a stable, a classroom, and a surgery room? So that's hard to explain. The other thing is that when you actually use it, you should remember to keep the camera towards the light source, but people tend to do, they think that you're actually measuring this way, so they get your black t-shirt instead. Another thing is that this light app needs a tool. It needs a piece of paper, an 80-gram office paper. You just put it in front of here, you just take the cover off and you put it in front of the camera, and you get a diffuser. And that's what actually makes the measurements really, really accurate. Hard to believe, but it's true. And this is the noise exposure app. And I guess you all seen it now, and I hope it was live and kicking. So you could tell that the variations of the noise in this room when I was talking. And you could actually stop the measurement. You can save them. You can do that with the light app as well. And you can share them, and you can send them to the local person responsible for the work environment, for instance, at the workplace.